Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Tammicia, and if you are a current subscriber, then welcome back. And if it's your first time joining me, then thank you so much for tuning in and welcome. It's so nice to have you. So here on my channel, I show you recipes and all things food related. So if you are a food lover just like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below for more recipe videos in the very near future. So happy Sunday to you guys. So tonight for Sunday dinner, we are making fried whiting fillets. So let's get right into the recipe. All right, you guys, so we're going to start off with our fish. I have 3 pounds of whiting fillets, and these have already been cleaned and dried. So what we're going to do is we're going to season our fish first. And what I like to do is I like to coat my fish with yellow mustard. So we're going to give it a nice dressing of yellow mustard, and this is about a half a cup worth. Okay, so then we're also going to add in some onion powder. And I'm going to lightly season my fish because I'm going to add seasonings into our breading as well. I'm also going to add some garlic powder. And then we're going to add in just a little bit of lemon pepper. And our lemon pepper already has salt in it, so I'm not going to add any additional salt into this recipe. And we're just going to roll up our sleeves and go ahead and get this coated for all of our fish. So it's Sunday, but I think traditionally families usually eat, I don't know if you guys may have been the same way I was growing up, but a lot of times families eat fish on Friday nights. So I remember growing up, I actually grew up in Augusta, Georgia for the most part, and on Fridays, well, some Fridays, my dad will actually go to Hosanna Fish Market. So if anybody's from Augusta, Georgia, you know about Hosanna Fish Market. It's off of Tobacco Road, right outside of Fort Gordon, and we'd order fried fish, either fried whiting or fried catfish, and an order of, what was it, fried rice actually. So yeah, that's just a little quick fried fish memory for Fish Fridays. So our fish is nice and coated with our seasonings and our yellow mustard. And the yellow mustard, it may be a little different from what you're used to frying your fish with, but it gives it a nice tanginess to when you're frying it. And I also forgot to mention that beforehand I actually put about maybe 1/8 of a cup of lemon juice onto our fish as well. All right, so what I'm gonna do is let this sit as I get our breading prepared. All right, so we're going to get started on our coating or our breading for our fish. So I have a container, and now I'm going to be honest with you guys. If I was actually doing this off camera, I would put all of my cornmeal into a grocery store plastic bag. But for video purposes, I have this Tupperware container, or you can use a paper bag. It's completely up to you. And so I have about 5 cups of cornmeal in my container, and this is actually the cornmeal that I'm using. It's a finely ground yellow cornmeal. So you don't have to use this brand, but you do want to get something that's finely ground. And then also I have already added into my cornmeal about 3 tablespoons of seafood seasoning. You can use Old Bay, you can use Zatarain's, or whatever your favorite seafood seasoning is. And I also have about 1/2 cup of chopped fresh parsley. Now the parsley is completely optional, but you guys know I love to work with fresh herbs. I feel like they just add an extra layer of flavor to anything that you cook. So we have that in there. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons each of some additional garlic and onion powder. And it's about time for me to replace this. This is the last of that. All right, here is our garlic powder. And I'm also going to add in some more of our lemon pepper. And this is about another 2 tablespoons. There's something about lemon and seafood. It's just a perfect flavor combination when you add lemon into seafood. So, and because I like just a little bit of heat, I'm going to add in just a little bit of crushed red pepper. So I have my whisk here, and you just want to get this whisk in. You can use a fork, but you want to get all of your seasonings and your spices and herbs mixed in to your cornmeal. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm not adding any salt to this because there's salt already in our lemon pepper, and there's also salt in our seafood mix. And I'm not adding any additional pepper either because it's already in the lemon pepper. So I'm just going to get this combined, and then we're going to start adding our fish in and getting it fried. Alright, so our cornmeal is all mixed up and nice and seasoned, and I have my frying pan going. It's been heating up with our vegetable oil, maybe about an inch, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches worth of vegetable oil. You don't want to put too much oil in your pan because you don't want to deep fry it. I like to just lightly fry it. So we have our vegetable oil heating up, and what we're going to do is go ahead and start adding in our fish to our cornmeal. And because this container is big enough, I'm actually going to add in all of my pieces of fish and then give it a good shake to get them all coated. So I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Alright, so our fish is coated, and all I did was just add the top to the Tupperware container and gave it a good shake. So all of our pieces are nice and coated with our breading. Our oil is hot and ready to go. I have a cooling rack sitting here with a couple of pieces of paper towel and some tongs because this is going to move a little quick and it's going to be super hot, so you want to make sure everything is in place. And another thing I wanted to mention, before you start seasoning and breading your fish, you want to make sure that you start with fish that is not frozen. This is hot grease. You do not want to put frozen fish or anything frozen into hot grease because you're going to have to jump back. So that's just a little tip just to add for you guys. So what we're going to do now is start adding our fish into our oil. You can hear that sizzle. And we're going to add just a couple of pieces in, maybe about 5 pieces, because you don't want to overcrowd your oil because then your temperature will drop and you won't have a nice crispy golden brown fish if your temperature drops too low. So I'll probably add 1 more piece into this. And I like to fry 5, 5, 5, and 5. 5 minutes, flip it over, let it go another 5 minutes, and just keep flipping it until it's completely done. So when I come back, I'll show you what it looks like when it's time to flip. Alright, so our first batch is ready to flip over. So I'm going to give this a nice flip and let it go for about 5 more minutes. And once this is done, I'll have about maybe 3 or 4 more batches to fry up. Alright, so I'm going to let this go for about 5 more minutes. Alright, you guys, there you have it. Our whiting is all done. It's nice and golden brown. I have a plate. We're just going to have it with some salad tonight. Of course, you got to have some lemon. And you cannot have fish without having a little bit of hot sauce. We're just going to top it with some Texas Pete. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to add them into the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, for more videos in the future, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.